Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawashai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawashai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawashai, Bahasham Rakaha Kodash, Kal Halalim Labanawa Yahweh Alahainawa, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakaha Kodash, Shemai Yasharala, Yahweh Alahainawa, Yahweh Achad, Shemai Yasharala, Yahweh Alahainawa, Yahweh Achad, Shemai Yasharala, Yahweh Alahainawa, Yahweh Achad. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of that body. Okay, also the salute and shalom to the prophets that are that are the affiliate camps that are basically Great Millstone, but just under a different banner. But they give their double honors to the apostles and elders, the men of the Lord, under the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, who speak Yahweh Shem Shai's words in spirit and in truth. Okay, where do I start? More closures, more closures, more closures. That's why if you've seen recently on YouTube, I know through the spirit, all the Jakes out there are on the pretty much on the similar trend, not trend, a similar, what's the word, man? Trend. Yeah, similar trend for the day or similar. Everyone's got a similar spirit where we're seeing the same videos, even in our downtime, we're watching the same videos as well. You know, and I really do feel that. So I know a lot of you have been seeing this Issacharite guy who's been around, going around California, uh, saying for lease, for lease. Basically saying a lot of stores are for lease, and a lot of stores, that were once a hub for a lot of couples to go on a Saturday afternoon to do some shopping because, people actually went outside of the house. People actually congregated outside. People actually, you know, uh, frequented going outside. Very seldom you did stay indoors. And if you did stay indoors, it was only because the weather was terrible or you were, I don't know, you wanted to get some rest or you were ill. But for the most part, people are outside. And the malls were full. The malls here in the UK were full. Okay, there are still a few malls left, but it's not how it used to be, say, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. There's local areas in my area of London, which is the West Part near Heathrow. Um, it's basically the whole high street, which would be like the main strip. All the major companies that are basically old money. Edomites owned. You got like the likes of equivalent of CVS would be Boots Chemist or Boots Pharmacy. They've pretty much got rid of a lot of their physical or brick and mortar branches. A lot of the sports stores, a lot of the Debenhams, which would be a place where you can buy high end and just generic brand clothing. Um, a lot of the Marks and Spencers, and Marks and Spencer would be for your elderly as well as your office workers type clothing. It basically has just high end as well as your generic brand clothing. It had a good sort of like a good bunch of variety depending on your budget or what you actually like, right? All those are gone. Obviously, the HMV, the last time I saw HMV on a strip in this part where I reside was probably 2002. Okay, when I actually used to buy CDs, you know, um, and obviously you still got like a remnant of certain stores that you could probably find in some corner somewhere. You like some random blockbuster video in some dark corner somewhere where it's probably like one in this in a 100-mile radius or a HMV in a 100-mile radius. There are certain stores which will be still kept there, but for the greater 98% of them, they are closing. All right. First, let's go to ground zero. All right. 7-Eleven. So, Elam is going to really feel this as well as Ishmael, which is Elam is you East Indians. Ishmael are you Arabs. Okay. Um, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. A lot of these businesses are going to close. A lot of you will have to go back to the countries that you come from. And obviously, this is going to affect the bottom line as well. So jobs are going to be scarce as well. So the high streets or the strips and the malls are going to be like ghost towns. You're going to see boarded up buildings. You're going to see more homeless people, and incidentally, most of the homeless people are Edomites. So the curses pursuant to Deuteronomy 30, verse 7, are coming on you Edomites slowly but surely. You so-called white people. You're begging in the streets. A lot of you on crack and heroin. Yes, crack is still sold here in the UK. All right. Meth, I'm not too sure. I think meth looks similar to crack, so they're probably smoking meth. I don't know. They all look fucked up anyway. These Edomites and heathens and stuff. All right. Jake is pretty much coming out of the haze of drugs. Obviously, you've got some Jakes out there that are still effing around. Right. But look how spiritual this is. 7-Eleven plans to shutter 444 stores, or any Arizona stores be closing. Obviously, America is a huge, huge, huge landmass. Okay, it's damn near so big. It's like you can have multiple countries in that one. It's basically a continent, which they call a country. To be honest with you, all right. If you think about it, like Texas is like a country of its own. You know what I mean? It's like the wild, wild west out there. But nevertheless, all these stores are closing. Look at that. Over 444 444, 450 stores closing. All right. And this is in the last, 2 days, 48 hours or so. Okay. So therefore, what's this going to mean? A lot of people will be staying indoors more. So they're getting you used to chilling out at home, um, being home more. Why? Because what they're going to do? They're going to do more lockdowns. Okay, they are going to do more lockdowns. They're already coming out with new diseases and new this and that and the third and zombie movies. And haven't you ever thought why they make all these kinds of movies showing zombies, America being destroyed? I used to always think that as a child, as a youngster coming up. Now I know why, because it's Babylon, new Babylon, Egypt all over again, and it's going to be destroyed because of the blood that was shed of the children of Israel. My people, my ancestors, you want to put it, because we're all related, we're all Israelites, all right? You know, if you're an Israelite, no matter what you look like, if you see the so-called black, Hispanic, a Native Indian, your heart bleeds. I can just about watch a slave movie. I get so vexed watching a slave movie. I can't do it. But I have to watch it to keep that anger in me. The only one I can probably watch again and again is Django, because Django gets down in it, deleting them crackers. His emotions get the better of me. It's sometimes hard to sort of like deal with it. Nevertheless, I'm digressing, Salakia, you know. And along with these store closures, what's going to happen? Okay, more job losses, less money. And when less money, what happens? More crime is increased. More crime, more curfews, right? Along with diseases, lockdowns. A lot of people are just sitting at home, comfortable. The ones that work on a remote basis, job-wise, they prefer it that way because they're saving money on travel, they're saving money on buying lunch outside, and they can save their money, period. So it's going to be a difference between the haves and the have-nots. So a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of home invasions. Okay, second Esdras 15 is going to kick in. A lot of people's houses are going to be bum rushed, taken over. Women are going to be grabbed up, children are going to be grabbed up. Cannibalism is going to come back in. It's going to get to the point where it's really going to tip the scales towards all those dystopian movies you've seen. Okay? You're sitting at home, behind the couch, sitting comfort on your lazy boy, sipping your cocoa, doors locked, triple locked, the curtains are shut, you got your alarms on, you're sitting in your pajamas, all cozy with your fire blazing. Yeah? Sitting on watching a big screen, especially you Edomites, you crackers and heathen nations, right? You're sitting back watching The Purge, Deep Impact, The Book of Eli, Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, all these similar kinds of movies, because the Lord is going to make all your nasty fears come to pass, because you're going to start seeing spirits on the left-hand side. Okay? You're sitting there all cozy, thinking that, I'm safe here. Because you Edomites are adrenaline junkies. Why? Because you're carnal people. It's your nature to be like that. Okay? It's your nature to be, afraid all the time. Why? Because you've never had fear. If you've never had fear, okay, you've always had it lovely because this is your rulership. You like to feel fear because you never had it, you know? Because as the scriptures say, they are not as troubled as other men. Oh, okay, let me get that scripture out. They are not in trouble. Let me just read it quickly. I don't want to digress too much. They are not in trouble as. I'm trying to paraphrase it so it'll hopefully pop up. I don't think I've already said it correctly. Okay, yeah. Psalm 73 and 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, so you people are not plagued. No, you're not in trouble. So therefore, you like that sort of stuff. So all your worst nightmares are going to come to pass. All right. So what we're witnessing in real time is the end of America. All right. All these stores closing, and my phone chimed in. It's a little bit far away. I don't know whether you heard the little bling at the background. All right. And a lot more people. If anyone's making money, it's Amazon and Temu. Everyone's. What's going to happen is a lot of these stores are going to be online. Online purchasing will still be there. There'll be a remnant of stores here and there because they still want to keep a certain amount of people that still want to go out and about to be there. Okay, but that greater rush, like on a Friday night, you'd see like queues and queues of fine women lined up to go to a club, couples walking around, you know, children playing, if you watch old footage from the mid 90s, early 90s, how New York, London was, how the clubs were. If you're old enough to remember, if late 40s like myself, to remember, it is not like that no more. And it won't be like that again. All right. Okay. So this is what we're witnessing in real time is the end of Esau, the so-called white man's rulership, because they have had their time in the light, and that light, that candle, is burning to basically, how do you say it, man? That candle is about to go out. All right. 7-Eleven will be closing more than 400 underperforming stores in the US. Its parent company said the 444 stores to close are among 13,000 stores the convenience chain has in the US and Canada. All right. And that's a significant chunk. All right. What about along with the other stores that are closing as well? All the other businesses, the trucking companies, huh? The inflation costs, people out of work, people that can't find work, all the people that are bitching and moaning online. What about that? Do you think this is going to increase? America's not going to ever get back on its feet again. All right? And then, along with all these businesses that are going to close, how many people are going to be out of work looking for similar jobs? So, this is going to increase crime as well in the street. Okay? It's going to increase crime in the street. 1 second. My phone had to chime in there again. Okay. Let's go to the UK. I'll try and make this quick and snappy, right? I just Googled what's happening in the UK. This is the last 3 hours, okay? We've got huge Marks and Spencer, which is a very old store. It's what you call a store made of old money, right? Oh, okay, reject and pay. Okay, back to consent. You've got to say yes. Look at that. If you want to reject it, you've got to fucking damn devils. All right. Now, as mentioned, let me just see how old they are because I know it's made from old Edomites from back in the day from that slave money. Marks and Spencer. Damn it. 1884. Look at that. 1884, this store was established. 1884. Okay, where are we again? Okay, so this store, Marks and Spencer, is closing for good. It's physical stores for good. All right. Marks and Spencer, established in 1884. So that definitely comes from slave money. Like a lot of the banks that have closed in my area as well, like Barclays, slave money. So what you call old money. his crackers made through the Israelites, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. All right, as well as other banks that have closed as well. Marks and Spencer shoppers upset after retailer confirms beloved store set to close for good. All praise to Yahweh Hashem Hashai. Okay. The high street fashion retailer will be closing its decade-old branch in Queensway, Crawley, Saturday, November the 16th. All right, they're talking about one specific one, but they say it's beloved stores. So there's definitely more than one. So it's definitely, a lot of them have closed. Okay. Damn it. Let me delete some pages. Damn devil. Esau. Look at that. Trying to see how they fuck around. Damn. All right. Let me delete some more pages. High street fashion retailer will be closing. Okay. So this is going to be another hit in the gut, another gut shot for Esau, the so-called white man, and his society and his world. Now, if you look at a lot of, there's a lot of Edomites walking around England showing specific areas that, where it's like completely dead. And obviously, if you look at the bottom and all, in terms of all the comments, it's all racist comments, and they're blaming so-called black and brown people. But really, they're mainly blaming the Israelites, saying usual suspects, and all that bullshit, right? But really, if you look at all the homeless people, they're all Edomites, and all the people that live there are Edomites, so-called white people. It's the curses coming onto these Edomites, pursuant to Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. All these curses shall pursue our enemies. Yeah? And what Esau, the so-called white man, is doing is painting to make this the area look so-called vibrant. What they're doing is all the shop fronts, they're painting artificial windows and artificial curtains and artificial doors and artificial people, like just painting, just trying to make it look lively. Otherwise, if it is, leave it the way it is, it looks like a ghost town, like the spirit has been squeezed out of it, squeezed out of it. That's what they're doing. Okay, let's go to. Okay, any other staff working at Marks and Spencer store are in discussion with retail to find alternative roles within the business. So a lot of the people, they're going to be reshuffling because a lot of people are going to be out of jobs. So the ones I'm assuming that have been there for a while, okay, that have got seniority will be sort of retained in their sort of other branches here and there. But for the most part, they're shutting. Okay, Marks and Spencer wants to reduce its full line stores from 247 to 180. Okay, it's damn near 100 stores by 2028. Okay, and open 104 more Simply Food shops. Okay, now what you got to understand is with Esau, the so-called white man, they'll say one thing to upset you and give you a huge gut shot, to scare the hell out of Esau. But then they'll say, okay, we're going to open up 104 more Simply Food shops. Just basically stores selling food. Otherwise, Marks and Spencer sold food and clothing. It was like a kind of a one-stop shop. It's like Walmart, but on a more of a higher scale. Okay? More of a posher scale where you get some decent clothing. All right? All right? But then that's 2028. But the Lord controls everything. And I don't think we got hit till 2028. I highly doubt that. Because Yahweh Shai is on his way back. I mean, Esau makes movies about fucking being here in 2050, and that ain't happening. All right? You Edomites don't have that long left. All right? That's why you're, so agitated and trying to move as fast as you can. Let's see if there's anything else on this. All right. Just get rid of that. So every time I'm making a video, the internet gets slower as well. And it's just little old me. I ain't nobody. Look at that. Slowing everything down, these motherfuckers. All right. Huge outdoor retailer with more than 100 shops announces store closure. That's M&S. Huge. Okay. And there's a huge sports Let's see which sports store it is because we got a couple here. Oh, okay, rejected. Which one is this? Huge sports and outdoors retail to close great branch after 6 years. Telford is a major shopping hub in the UK, so they're going to close more than likely a huge, probably a Sports Direct or a JD Sports. We used to have Foot Lockers here in the UK. There's no more Foot Lockers anymore. There's probably like maybe one in a. I haven't seen one in years. We used to have one probably about 7 miles from here. It's not there. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like Foot Locker doesn't exist here in the UK anymore. You know, and this store is called Decathlon. Now, obviously, Telford is a very sort of like a high end. Well, I mean, it was a high end area. It's like a sort of like a metropolis and a huge store, and that's going to be closing as well. And obviously, when one store closes, there's going to be a domino effect as well because you know, they can't fit all this. Because obviously, if there's going to be several stores or more store closures, where are the rest of the staff going to go? Like I said, there's going to be a massive divide between the haves and have-nots. You know. Supermarket chain to close beloved local store after 50 years. Yeah, and B&Q, which is like a B&Q is a what's the equivalent in America? What do you guys have there in terms of like where carpenters and builders can buy like tiles and linoleum and wood and tile grout and all that kind of thing. And what do you call it? We call it polyfiller. I guess you guys call it putty, whatever, right? It's like a store like for builders and things like that. You can buy garden furniture and shit like that. Basically, just the whole sort of outdoorsy stuff. They're closing, okay? And Home Bargains, B&Q and Home Bargains, sort of like side by side, two different organizations, but under one banner. 900 UK stores, okay? Shut more than 900 UK stores, okay? Let's see why. For 2 days. Why would they shut for 2 days? Let's see what kind of changes they're making. Store closures have plagued British high streets this year, with some of the biggest brands shutting their beloved stores. All right, let's see what they're saying. Man, Slovakia for this, man. The internet is just playing games today. Saying fucking about. Damn crazy. No, here we go again with the. Let me see if we can. Delete some pages. Damn it. What the hell's going on now? Gotta be Slovakia for this. Not my fault. Oh no! Why is it going to? I didn't press. Look at that. And no, but home. Okay, we go. We go. Boots and Tesco closures in full as six major retailers to shut shops in October. All right. Boots and Tesco. Boots is like CVS. Tesco is like a supermarket with food and what would be like a smaller version of Costco here. All right, we don't have Toys R Us here no more. Toys R Us was here about 20 years ago. That shut many years ago. So yeah, it's looking like a ghost town around here. And if you look at a lot of the Edomites that are for against immigration, a lot of the Edomites are in their 50s and 60s saying that there's no place for them to go. Yeah, there's pubs still around. Yeah, there's clubs still around. Yes, you can still go out and about. Yeah, you can still do that, but it's not as vibrant as it was before. Variety is less. So therefore, you can still go out, but your favorite haunts that you used to go to back in the day, all that nostalgic shit is all gone. So you'd have to find new places and travel further out, which makes it a little bit more of a headache to, go back and forth, especially when you want to go to your local boozer or your local place to have a drink or a local club, hoping to be with at least a 10, 15-mile radius. You have to go further out. So this is getting crazy. So a lot more people are a little pissed off that there's no place for them to go because the mirth is being squeezed out. All right. All right. Let's get back. I don't want to ask. Let's read the scriptures now. Salakia for this. Yeah. The beautiful thing is that hey, this place Wilco. I already made a video on this before. They got Wilco is like it's a store that has what does it have? You know, your junk food. You know your stuff for children, books. Going back to school, books and pens and markers and highlighters and things like that. Your paints, your chandeliers, just basic everyday sort of stuff. Your bleach for the bathroom, household things. They're closing down so many stores. They're closing another 10. A couple of months ago, they've closed, so many stores. There's over 1,200 workers out of work. All right. So there's a lot more people. If you go during the week in your local area, the coffee shops will be full of people congregating. Why? Because a lot of them are out of work. Yeah, there'll be some people that work from home. They'll be at the coffee shop too, but there'll be a heck of a lot more people just full. They're just commiserating, talking about what's going to happen, and heck of a lot more foreigners too, especially Polish and Russian, man. What's this one? Let me see. I'm just going to read a couple of scriptures after this. I'm just trying to see what this. Yo, man. Closing down, a huge loss. Shoppers despair. A supermarket chain with 2,500 UK sites is to close town centre store. I've got to pay to reject now. Okay, you got to pay to reject. A huge loss as shoppers despair. A supermarket chain with 2,500 UK sites is to close town centre store. Yeah, look at that. Boots is closing, right? Which is like a CVS or a co-op that's closing, which is like another supermarket. All right. Witherspoon is closing. Witherspoon is like a place. I mean, I used to go, I used to take dates back there in the day. It's like a pub and a bar, with food and drinks, kind of like a pub, but like more of a place to take women, you know? Um, yeah, man, shit. Yates is another one. Yates. That's a similar one. Um, to Witherspoons, that's closed down. Okay, man, that's it. World is this. Esau's out of here, out of here. Should we get a full list? This is from 2nd of January 2024. Okay, it is about 9 months old. Let's see the full list of stores closing. Banks, there's approximately 8 banks closing a month here in the UK. Okay, full list of boot stores. CVS is closing in 2024. Okay, in 2023, it was announced 300 boots, like a CVS, would disappear by the end of the year. Now, in hopes to consolidate the business, the pharmacy chain has announced another string of closures in 2024. Look at that. Witherspoons, like I was talking about, the pub in 2024. Look at the full list. Dozens of sites up for sale, like the Ishikarite brother from the light skinned Ishikarite guy, where Elder Apostle Gabar made a video. The guy was saying, for lease, for lease, for lease. Yeah, look, there's there's loads of sites here up for sale, for sale, for sale. No one's gonna buy it because it'll be a flop, you know. Because a lot of people really don't have that disposable income to even go out and about anymore. You know, I mean, if you go to the movies, who goes to the movies these days? I go now and again just to sort of, just to get out of the house, but it's hardly anybody there. And it's such a massive change. I remember when I went to them, let's just say 2014, I think 2014 and 2015, was it called London Has Fallen? That came out. I was in 2016. It was packed. And the change in the space of 7, 8 years where it used to be a packed cinema to maybe two people there, you know, just my son and I. It's like, whoa, where are the people at? You know, Costa coffee shops closing in 2024. Full list. How many are closing? Uh, yeah, they'll close like 20, 30, about 15 to 20 of them, then open up one big site. You know, they're consolidating everything, but it's still basically destroying the mirth. Argos is like a store where you can buy, your clippers for hair cutting and, scissors and I don't know what, like, your starter home kit gym, like a bench with plastic weights filled with sand, silver jewelry, gold jewelry, like a catalog thing. Those their stores are closing. Look at that. Argos plans to close 100 UK sites in 2023 and 2024. Look at that. Wilco, we already talked about. Iceland is a food is a, I actually shop in Iceland. You go. A lot of people do. You get your everyday things, your tuna, your eggs, and all that kind of thing, your bread, and a lot of their stores are closing as well. We already talked about Marks and Sparks, Marks and Spencers. 67 of his sites closing. The Works stationary bookstore like Barnes and Noble, it's closing here as well. Look at that. The Works. Look at that. All right, let's get to the scriptures. Okay, let's go to 1 Corinthians 7:31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. The fashion of this world is passing away, where it's completely dying. You know how it used to be. I mean, the fashion of this world was being cool. Being a so-called white man was cool. Now that's passing away. Even back then, when it was so-called cool to be a so-called white man during the era of David Hasselhoff and Knight Rider, you know, Michael Knight using using the name Michael to be powerful, dressing in black with a black car, talking car and all that. Him then being in fucking Baywatch, like it's cool. It's cool to be a so-called white man. But even then, the Edomite woman was digging Jake. I mean, they've been liking Jake, but the fashion of this world, where the so-called white man was at the forefront of everything, and everybody believed that he was it. He was Moses. He was he was the Messiah. He was Yahushua. He was Moses. He was King David. He was King Saul. He was Peter. He was Barnabas. He was Simeon. You know, he's the Persians. He's the Hamites. He's the Egyptians. He's the fucking last samurai. He's the last of the Mohicans. You know, playing the native Indians in cowboy movies. They thought that bloody everyone is fucking white. So cool. You know, that's how dumb white Edomite Americans are. The Caucasian American. They think that everybody is them. So where okay. So who are the rest of these brown nations around the world? So the fashion of this world, in that respect, is passing away, along with everything else in it. Okay, everything else in it, the way the infrastructure is ran. Obviously, this scripture means many, many, many things, including, the process of like the clean shave thing was in, even though people still do it. But most people, are rocking either a permanent stubble or a beard, or at least a goatee or a mustache. Like that clean shaven David Hasselhoff fucking Baywatch thing is just completely dead. You know, I don't know why I keep saying David Hasselhoff because he was like a Baywatch was a big thing here in the UK back about 35 years ago because yeah, it's just American shows. Beverly's 90210 was a big thing. So all that fashion of all that era is passing away. You know the way the world is ran, the business aspect is just passing away. All right. Second Ezra 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So for you wacky tacky Christians, the world is not going to blow up. The world is not going to end. No, what's it called? No ball of fire. What do they call it? A comet. No comet's going to come out of the sky and destroy the whole planet, because the Lord said the earth abideth forever, man. All right. And otherwise, what does the scripture mean? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. We're talking about rulership. Okay, the table's turning. Okay, trading places. All right, the head shall be the tail. Okay, you're the head at the moment, Esau. Okay, and Jacob, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and all Israelites are the tail. But now Jacob is going to be the head, and you Edomites and heathens are going to be the tail. All right, that's what's happening right now in real time. Let's go Isaiah 24:11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. All right. Mirth of the land is gone. Let's go to the definition of mirth. What's mirth mean? Mirth. Amusement, especially expressed in laughter. Yeah. Nobody's laughing anymore. Nobody's laughing anymore. You know who's laughing? Jake is actually doing better than a lot of these Edomites. Jake is doing, then you got a lot of effed up Jakes out there, but Jake is doing all right. Jake is still laughing. Yeah. Similar to like when the prohibition came, when you Edomites were suffering and the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian were doing all right. They were still earning their daily bread. Some of them had some thriving cities, Rosewood, Black Wall Street, and the thousands other that you crackers burnt and destroyed and bombed with the American government and got, and then you covered it up with lakes and all that kind of shit. Yeah? But you Edomites are crying. You Edomites are moaning. There are no jobs. I've got no money. I can't buy eggs. Oh, there's nowhere to go to have a drink anymore. There's nowhere to go anymore. Where do we go? And these Edomites are taking out all their anger on who? Anybody that's of color. And obviously, Jacob's trouble is going to be everybody's trouble. But Jacob, the so-called black man, especially the so-called black man, and other tribes, all right, everybody of color, they're going to be the primary target. All right? Because you think Esau knows the differentiation between a Judite and a Hamite. They're going to see, oh yeah, that's a monkey. Let's go and get him. They're going to come for everyone. Okay? Or they might have their anger towards Somalians, but they might even get a couple of Benjamites. That's what's going to happen, man. They might have some anger against some Pakistanis, But they're going to get some Latinos, especially Latinos who look like Cheech Marine, man. Cheech Marine, you know who Cheech Marine is. Up in smoke. That guy looks like a Pakistani. But, brown people look alike, That's neither here or there. But that's the primary target. That's what's going to happen. There's crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Okay, the mirth, the laughter, the fun is gone. All right? Ecclesiastes 12:4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. What's grinding? Jake talks like that. That's street talk. Or what you call hip talk. I'm going to go and grind, yo. I'm going to go and clock in some hours. I'm going to make that paper. I want to make that cheese. I'm going to make them peas, bruv. I'm going to make them peas. I'm going to make them scores. What are scores? See that? It's like, a score is 20, right? Jake says that, yeah, I'm going to make them scores. I want to make them 20s, I want to make several scores today. I want to make, I want to make, 20, 30 scores today. 200-300 pound, whatever Jake, how Jake talks. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grind and when the sound of the grinding is low. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, no grinding, no work. Work is scarce, but whichever Jake's going to get a job, you're going to get a job. Your CV is going to stand out. Your application is going to stand out. Your Halba Shem Yeshai is going to take care of his elect, no matter what you're going through, Jake. All right? So don't worry about it. Especially those of you that are in that situation. We've all gone through it, The Lord abases you, then the Lord makes you abound. But you have to learn through the situation where faith is built up, because we're going to come into a time where it's going to be real bad, man. And so the Lord is just like giving you a warm-up bench. Like you bench press? You're not going to go straight into the heavy weight. You're going to cry. That bar will fall on you. This way, you got to warm up, and so Yahweh Shem Shabbat you got a fighting chance to get out of it. And the Lord's going to give you signs along the way prior to everything happening anyway. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the doors of music shall be brought low. The music is trash, as you can see. A lot of people don't even listen to that anymore. All this new shit. It's probably these Gen Zs mainly. Everybody's listening to the 90s and 80s and 70s, all that kind of stuff. Even the new movies have what? 90s music in it or 80s music in it. Nobody wants to listen to today's bullshit. Then on top of that, the music is brought low. Nobody really has a radio out in their back garden like they used to, if they're on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon drinking beer, you know? Nobody does that anymore, you know? Nobody does that anymore, whistling and listening to, whatever they want to listen to in their background. Nobody does that anymore. It's quiet and silent. Unless you hear Jake, cruising down the street, Jakes and Jake foreigners, cruising in their cars, bumping music. Those that got sounds in it or, have put sounds in their vehicles, And nothing wrong with that, man. We all like music, especially Jake. But yeah, but Esau ain't doing it no more, man. And this world is it's being squeezed, man. The life is being squeezed out of it. Revelation 22 and 12. And Yahushua is returning, man, because the Lord has sped up the time for the elect's sake, right? Time is speeding up and the Lord is coming quickly. Revelation 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly and my reward is with me to give every man according to Salakia. And behold, I come quickly and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. All right. So the Lord is going to give a reward to, especially our frontline prophets that have taught the rest of us, man. And those of you that, try and help, share videos, whatever your situation may be. All right. But the fact of the matter is, if you've got the confidence in you through faith, I mean, the faith in, your faith is being built up, and Yahweh Shemashah is giving you the confidence that, yeah, you may have a chance, man, to be part of that greater multitude or whatever your lot is, But remember one thing, man. The fact that you're an Israelite, that's a beautiful thing too, because the world to come is ours. All right? It's ours. And it's not going to ever end ever again. You're not going to ever go into slavery ever again. All right? Ever. I'll mention the fact that let me delete a couple of these. I don't want it to pause again. You know how Esau does. Let's go into second Esdras. Like people, there'll be the haves and have-nots. Yeah? We're going to talk about, mention the fact that there'll be people rushing each other's houses, man. And there'll be wars and there'll be fighting in the streets. Because, there'll be parts of the world when the Karagma, when the financial infrastructure crashes, right? Revelation 13:16 is going to go into fifth gear. A lot of people will be taking their CHIP in their hand or their forehead to do transactions because they want to hold on to their lifestyle, their family, some kind of normalcy, to get fed, to buy clothing, to be social, to go out on a social basis, to basically stay normal, as they say, right? And then on one side, you're going to have that. On the other side, you're going to have people that refuse to. And there'll be like a world where one part will be dystopian, the other part will be sort of like still somewhat so-called business as usual. And that's where these divide in these cities will come. Where they'll pull up walls and borders in separate areas, and they'll be after those renegades that are don't want to get to see it, or they'll try and delete them. Okay, and then also the war between the haves and the have-nots. Okay, and also people angry at the so-called government and at the authorities and the powers that be. And that's what we're coming into. Second Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And a sword is obviously an ancient terminology. There'll be guns. Yes, there's guns here in the UK. All right. They come from Europe, the States, and other parts of the world. Guns were here, illegal here once. All right. Obviously, but Esau causes certain things to happen. They put in the news, oh, so-and-so got deleted with this gun. Okay, we're going to ban handguns. All right, but handguns are here. They're usually with the people that are what you call an underworld, right? But shotguns are legal here, double barrel, okay, and also swords, literal swords in the hand. They'll have knives, kitchen knives, literal swords, bats, crowbars, crossbows, whatever they can find, they'll be using it. Rambo knives, stun guns, guns, hand to hand combat, and then you gotta, hey man, it's gonna be robot. You're gonna have those the cyborgs and those robot, what do you call them, robotic dogs. They're gonna have that as well. You know, verse 16: For there shall be sedition among men. People coming together talking about this, down the third. Actually, let me get the definition of sedition. Sedition is conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. So there'll be sedition among men. They'll be talking about, oh yeah, you know what? Let's rebel against the current powers that be. Let's rebel against the army that's guarding that border or whatever. Or let's rebel. Let's go and hit up the House of Commons in London. So and so's over there, or they're there right now having a meeting. Let's go and wait outside. You know, they may shoot 20 of us, but the other 80 will get past the barriers and delete some of those politics. Just stuff like that. Okay, so that's the definition of sedition. So definition of sedition is conduct or speech inciting people, to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Right? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, your heads of state, your prime ministers, and literal kings and princes too. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Verse 17, which is martial law. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's what we're coming into. All right. Not to mention, there's other numerous scriptures talking about, wives being ravished, kids being dashed to pieces. All right. You know what ravished means, right? Grape. All right. So you're gonna have neighbors that are when this thing happens, right? See, when things are fine, right? Your neighbors are gonna be cool with you. Good morning, neighbor. Good afternoon. Blah blah blah. Or you might give a little nod to the person next door. They might give you a little nod in the morning or whatever, or when you're walking by, whenever you see each other. You might acknowledge each other, like in a so-called polite way, because things are so-called normal or semi-normal. But when hell breaks loose, it's going to be on and popping. And then on top of that, right? Hey, the phone had to chime in. It's on top of that, right? They're going to be looking at your pretty wife, your pretty daughter. You know, there's going to be a lot of that going on as well. Okay. So it's coming to that time, man. And this is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. We are a week away from November. We are approximately 9 weeks before 2025. So let's see what happens in the next 9 weeks. All right. All praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakak Kodash. And also November the 4th or 5th or whenever it is, the elections in America. Hey, we are coming to the end of Esau's rulership, man. And it's happening in real time. And it's a beautiful thing. All praise to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakak Kodash. Shalom. Kwam Yeshua.